great, exciting group of people with me. And we do this together, most importantly, with my 3 ladies. No, 2 ladies. And our occasional 3rd lady and then our 4th gentleman, which is the combination we have today. So yes, every week I do this with Helen up here, Ampafo, yay!
Yeah, whatever. Whatever, all right? Whatever.
You can call her the Grinch that stole Tuesdays.
To be fair, it always starts off like this, but it's such a good time by the end of it.
Grinch that steals Tuesdays. Hi, Helen.
Hi, Pooh. How you doing?
I'm good. You look nice, sir.
Very.
The hair is hairy, the makeup is makeup-y.
Oh my God.
I don't know why you're
Hang on.
feeling... The hair is hairy.
Is it hair? You know they're saying that blondes have more
A lot of fun, yes.
I don't know. It's not working on me.
Oh,
it's
are you
not as
serious?
fun as purported. So I feel like
We have to check that. Nah.
you don't cast, but it's all right. I'm feeling very made up. Been on set all day. You know, I do
Yummy.
other things with my time.
Right.
Radio presenter by day, TV presenter by night. Kelly. What's up? How are we?
We're tired, but we're good. Yeah.
Dear babe. Dear
Ah.
one. Oh, what's up? What did you do today that's made you so tired?
I was just thinking all day. I'm just plotting. Yeah.
Ghanaians are teletactics and
Tactics,
automatics
so
and antics.
It doesn't do
It's all good. It's all
must
good.
do. Miss Judy, baby. Yeah, I was gonna say Miss Helen again. Miss Judy, you look nice.
Thank
The
you,
hair
thank
too's
you.
hairy, like a bit of Afro kinky curls going on and stuff
you,
and
thank
stuff.
you.
How you feeling? Both of you have makeup on, and I have nothing on. I didn't get the memo. I would
guess.
have, yeah.
You're
yeah.
matching with her.
Oh, I am, yes. And I'm moving to our guest in studio. She's a media person. Dora Lawe is in the building. Hi, Dora.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
How's your week been?
Stressful.
And we'll take it like
It's
that.
only Tuesday.
Charlie, it feels like I've done 4 days already. And Dalasi Dugbe, he's a corporate trainer and ghostwriter. Hi, Dalasi. How are you doing?
Hi, AJ. I'm doing fantastic.
I hope you're having a better week than all of us here.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. So you
Yeah.
acknowledge you're having a better week.
Yes. I'm
Wow.
celebrating my birthday. It's a week after my birthday. It's the whole match.
Hey,
you know.
come on.
It's a good vibe.
It's a good
And
vibe.
I'm feeling the vibe from this side.
Yeah. You
From
feel
the
that
block.
vibe.
You guys are matching in green.
It is, yeah. And then me and you are matching in brown.
Yeah.
It's Dora's the odd one out.
She went brown. Oh, she's with us.
She's wearing brown underneath there. Oh, wonderful.
You know what
wonderful.
this is? This is the Galamsey Tax Force. This is representing brown color of the. Have you seen River Offin? Have you seen River Offin?
Charlie, it's past Milo. It's right now like cappuccino or some
Cappuccino.
stuff. Like coffee.
I can't cry with a black coffee. It's not looking good, but the green is representing vegetation.
Wow,
and
wow,
very
wow,
soon
wow,
the waters and the
wow,
vegetation should
wow,
restore
wow,
themselves.
wow.
Galamsey must stop.
Galamsey must stop. But you
this
see,
point, I'm done.
Galamsey, there are different kinds of. There's Galamsey that you do, that's a gig economy Galamsey. Then there's Galamsey that you actually two under the earth. So so that gig economy Galamsey, yeah, for life is for life.
Hey, one more to do more.
One
for
more
that
to
one, but
do
that's Galamsey.
Well, welcome everyone. I hope we've all at least settled in nicely. We're gonna get into a very interesting topic. DNA. Dun dun dun. Oh, shout out to DJ Phil. How's your week, man? It's been good. It's not that good there. Oh, we need money here. Don't worry, money will come. Money will come. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking DNA. Dun dun dun. One of the biggest, hottest topics in recent times. I saw on a billboard in Accra where you can do DNA for like 200 Ghana cedis. And the first thing I thought is a lot of relationships are gonna break up because when people start testing. Situations start turning. But the big question is, if you choose to or ask for DNA, is that an ultimate sign of distrust in your relationship? Can you ever come back from asking for DNA, especially if it comes out positive that you are a match? You really are the father of the kids. Now, how can you ever repair that relationship once that happens? Have you even heard of anyone who's asked for DNA?
Not really.
Uh-huh.
But I've seen people do it in secret.
Okay.
So the wife didn't know about it. And most of the time,
it didn't come out well.
yeah.
Wait, they found out that the kids weren't theirs? Stop
A
it.
lot of times.
Stop
they end up
it.
finding out the kids are not there.
You know, some people, too, I honestly feel like they do it hoping that the kids will not be theirs, so they have an excuse to leave.
But my problem with this whole thing is, I believe that after they've done it with the kids, they should do it with the mother. Because they could have switched also.
That's another thing. A lot of
something
times
we all
the
do
blame
with her.
comes and it's
Yeah.
like the mother has slept with someone, and oftentimes they'll swear heaven and earth until you test the parent, the mother as well. Then you realize that there was actually a switcheroo at birth, because that's happened before a few
There was
times.
a story that a lady shared on Facebook that she said they married for 4 years. The man went to test. The child got sick. So after they checked, they noticed it's not hers. Like, it's not for him. And she swore she's never been with any man. The man didn't believe him. They drove her out of the family
Wow.
house. Then years down the line, she just decided to go and test and check whether the baby is hers. And she realized it wasn't.
Wow.
The man now wanted to come back, but she was done.
Because how do you come? You come back from that, honestly. Huh. Anyways, let's get into our story for today. Then we'll ask your opinion on how to navigate this. So I am a 26-year-old lady, and my husband is a 34-year-old man, obviously. We have 3 children. Our sons look exactly like him, dark skin, dark eyes and hair, but our daughter doesn't look anything like him. She looks exactly like my great-grandparents. Very fair, lighter hair and lighter eyes. And apparently he didn't think it was possible that our daughter could look like my maternal grandparents. And from the moment he saw her, he told me he wanted a paternity test. At first, I refused because I felt it was humiliating and because I didn't think it was necessary, because I never cheated on him. And I hoped he would trust me, but he didn't. And for the first 2 months of our child's life, he made my life a living hell. He didn't want to hold her, even when she cried desperately when I was doing something else. He never woke up at night to help me with her. He never helped me with anything that had to do with her. And that hurt me so much, because with our boys, he was completely different. He helped me all the time and was absolutely there for them after I gave birth. But this time, he left me alone, and it was the worst experience of my life. I have very little family here, and his entire family, from the moment they saw my daughter, all turned their backs on me. I don't have much friends either, so it was just my daughter and me. She was also a difficult baby, so it was hard for me to do everything alone, and on top of that, help with our sons. I decided to do the paternity test because one day his entire family came to our house to celebrate my son's birthday, and no one spoke to me, and they didn't even want to include my daughter in the photos that my in-laws took of the grandchildren. So I knew it was stupid to keep waiting for them to come to their senses. Well, the paternity test came back positive, and everyone was shocked. Of course, they felt guilty for not believing in me. Everyone apologized, and my husband even cried when he held our daughter in his arms for the first time, and I knew that his apologies were genuine, and that's why I forgave him. But I don't know if I can ever forgive his family. They treated me really badly and said horrible things about me just a few days after giving birth, and I can't forget their insults or their violence towards me. My husband knows I don't want to see his family, nor do I want them anywhere near our children, and he's told his family, so the last 3 months it's just been the 5 of us. But it doesn't feel as good as I expected. In fact, even though my husband is apologizing and crying every time he holds our daughter, and I'm getting tired of this situation, I really don't want... Hold on. I need to sneeze. Okay, no, it's gone. So I'm getting really tired. No, I needed to sneeze, and then it went. I'm sorry. I'm back. Don't look at me like that. Anyways, back to the story.
Keeping it real.
So I'm getting tired of this situation, and honestly, my heart feels as if it's left the relationship. I also don't want to break up our home, but I don't think we're much of a happy home anyways. My husband has suggested we start couples therapy, but how much can therapy help when at this point in time I think I don't want to be in this marriage anymore? Gang gang. How do you come back from a DNA or paternity test, especially when it turns out positive that it is your child? Dora.
The man, I would say, was very wicked.
But he had his doubts.
Why should you doubt your wife?
Because the child doesn't look like me now. And you see, you can understand if the first 2 look exactly like him, and the second daughter looks nothing like him. She's not fair. I mean, she's not dark. She doesn't have dark eyes. She's fair. She looks a little on the lighter skin side. You assume that it's not my child.
But the man, in the first place, did he understand what DNA means? You should understand before you ask someone, let's go for a DNA test. You should also understand that maybe the child might not look exactly like you
all the time.
So you should understand whatever you are requesting for.
Okay.
To me, if I were to be the woman, yes, that's how it's going to be. I'll not feel happy in the marriage anymore. I might even end up filing for a divorce because you don't trust me. I've been with you for so many years. We have 2 kids, and then the third one doesn't look like you, and so what? You understand?
Yeah.
So before we request for anything, especially DNA, we should understand that it's not only about looks.
A whole lot more goes into it.
Exactly.
Okay. So I'll see.
Yes, AJ.
Now, how should this man have reacted upon having his suspicions? And was he right in the way he sort of played out the situation?
I always tell people it's easy to judge somebody's emotional reaction to things. But the truth of the matter is that if you go deep, you find out that the suspicion has always been there. Because growing up, we've had siblings that do not look like us. They behave differently. And sometimes we joke that we need to test you. Are you sure you are part of this family? It happens all the time. But from the story, it's obvious that there's something from the past. Something has happened before. For example, people have gotten married and then a partner has cheated before, or there has been suspicions. I've heard of stories where people are not sure about getting married and on the wedding day thinking about whether to settle or not. Once that suspicion is there, forever and ever, you always doubt the person you are with. And from this situation, I'm sure there's something from the past. And I always tell people that we don't analyze the past enough. Sometimes we hear stories and we just say, oh, okay, this is how he reacted. A, B, C, D. It doesn't make sense for him to react like that. But once he reacted that way, it meant that there's something from the past that has not been resolved that has brought this up. For example, friends will say, are you sure? Family will say, are you sure? They say a lot of things about the woman. Maybe in school she was naughty, she's this, she's that. And all these things come back to haunt us. So that will make the man react the way he's reacted. Again, I always tell people that conflict is a very important thing in relationships. Without conflict, you don't know the person you are with.
Sure.
Yes. I'm sure if there was no suspicion, there was no issue from the past, he will be angry, he will be suspicious, but after some time, he will come back to his senses and say, oh no, it's my child. So I feel that there's a suspicion from the past. And in order to solve this issue, it's important that they communicate. They sit, relationships, marriage are for mature people. We always think that marriage, relationships is always going to be smooth sailing. No. Things like this will happen to test you. And if this happens, you need to analyze to find out that why did I think this way?
Okay.
There has to be a communication. I'm sure there was no communication. And unfortunately, they did not have the therapy. Sometimes having therapy as an afterthought defeats the whole purpose, but it's never late. So I feel that it's going to be a journey. If they want to be together, they have to go through the process again. They have to press the refresh button, start button, and then start all over again. And
is that possible?
Oh, yes. In life, anything is possible if the 2 parties are willing. But the honest truth is that she's checked out.
Yes.
And because the DNA has showed that she's not wrong, she's on the right side to check out. For any human being, you check out. Especially when, you see, that this thing we call love, we don't understand this thing we call love. They're for better, for worse. These are some of the things. When we go to the altar and we say for better, for worse, this and this. We don't understand. Sure. This is the test. I know men who have done this paternity test or this DNA, and they are still around because they've forgiven the person. And women have also forgiven their men. Yes, so for this to work, the 2 of them have to decide. And I always tell people that it's not by force. So if you feel that you've checked out, let it go.
Okay.
But if you think there's a possibility for counseling, therapy, sometimes what therapy does for you is that it opens your eyes to certain things that you've not thought about. It opens your eyes to look at things from a different angle, the emotional baggage bit. Why did you think I cheated on you? Why did you think the child is not yours?
Because the child doesn't look like me.
Yes, but we have children that they are all fair. One is dark, like looks like what is the name of the footballer?
But then I think the family also played a huge part in this dynamic, because if you have a support system that's explained to you, but it doesn't mean that it's not yours because one is dark and one is fair.
Yeah.
But if you have a whole family who literally refuses to look at the child, refuses to add the child to grandparent, then you feel that you have a lot of grounds.
Yes, that means that there's something that even the family is suspicious of the lady. Any normal family will not support.
No, some family are irrational.
Yes, some are irrational, but the truth is that yes, there's a suspicion in there.
Okay.
Again, to when you mention DNA, it doesn't mean it's always about paternity. Sometimes you want to check health reasons.
Hey, this one is not health reasons.
No, I'm just saying there are different reasons.
Well,
you understand why we do DNA. You know, so for this issue, I think a lot is under the carpet.
Miss Jude,
The whole thing is,
it's funny for you.
yeah, for a woman to be pregnant for 9 months, give birth, and actually be maltreated by a husband, it's
And his
something.
family.
Let's forget about the family.
No, family, we can't forget to do.
The reason why I'm saying let's forget about the family is I expect you to defend me no matter what.
True.
Against them. So even if they are maltreating me, I'm expecting you to defend me and make me feel like I married you, not them. And then to actually think that a woman was adulterous, like it's something I cannot take. To be accused of being with other men when I actually know I haven't, that's a big insult to me. And that actually breaks the entire foundation of our marriage. And this happened that the kids are yours. How do you make up for all the years that you maltreated me?
Thank you.
I don't know how to actually, get over it. It would take so much of you making up to me, and sometimes it's not worth it. You make up over and over again, and every day I'll wake up thinking, okay, so he actually thought I was with someone after 2 kids. And she actually said she forgave her husband, not the family. What has the family got to do with it?
Well, Helen.
You know that saying that I like to say, God might not be done with you, but I am.
Exactly.
I think that might be the trajectory of the relationship moving forward, because you know what it's like to be accused of something that you haven't done. Maybe you haven't been in that position. I used to date somebody in my early 20s, and it was always one thing after the other, very jealous. Although, every now and again, maybe I too was a little bit too flirtatious, but it got to a point where it was just just almost boring. You're like, listen, let me just go out and do it. And
if you're going to accuse me so much,
and that definitely erodes the trust, the confidence, and essentially the fun. The whole thing is I no longer want to do this anymore. But people have bounced back from all manner of things. Nothing is impossible, I would say. People make mistakes. Sometimes we're misguided. I think it would be a tough one to recover from. But I think worse things have happened. But I can't imagine the level of just the pain of just thinking this person that you've been true to, thinking those things about you. Sometimes it's so hurtful. It's like, do you even know me?
Exactly.
But these things are not that far-fetched. Clearly, we're hearing a lot of it, and I think the men are also alert to it, because I think in Nigeria the stats are quite staggering.
Crazy,
of people who've done DNA testing and the results have come back and they're not. So I don't know if that's the external messaging that is penetrating into individual homes. But really, what's that got to do with us? This is a bond between us, and why are you bringing some of that fear into the relationship? It would be hard, I'm not going to lie, for somebody like me to find my way back to the marriage, because they are married, isn't it? To the marriage. Nothing is impossible, though. Nothing is impossible. But, Charlie...
It's hard. It's hard.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Also, I mean, how is he going to make it up to her?
True.
Because that's an important question to ask. How do you plan to make it up to me? And what is the best way then, moving forward, for a man in that position to make it up to their partner, their wife, whatever the case may be? And I think that is something that would feature heavily. How they make it up to how the person makes it up to you. You can tell when somebody is genuine from the pits of their heart. Sorry, I think it would take a strong demonstration of what's the word I'm looking for? Humility, contriteness that would convince me to find my way back. This isn't something that you just like let go of easily. I don't even think you can. You'll be thinking about it. You'll be going through your brain. It permeates everything. You know, it could even have an effect on the intimacy of the relationship. You know, he might be feeling, okay, well, I can trust this lady now. But for you, you'll be thinking, well,
he's
really?
always doubted me.
Are you doubting me or still doubting me? So that's why I sit with this particular one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have another one from another lady who's also sharing her story, and she says this: my husband has asked for a paternity test, and I freaking hate him for it, and I wish I hadn't had a baby with him. I'm just so offended and disgusted that I need to shout somewhere outside my husband's reach. I'm currently sitting with the test results and divorce papers. Of course, he's a father. I have had only 3 sexual partners in my 29-year life, and they were all years apart. If anyone's going to say I cheated, I feel like I'm in a state of furious shock since he asked me, because I didn't think I would ever hate someone so quickly. Just looking at his face every day since this makes me regret ever letting him be my husband. If there was sadness coming, it hasn't read his head yet. The only thing I feel is fury. I honestly wish our son was a sperm donor baby and I didn't have to deal with him anymore. He went on to say that the reason why he asked for it is because he's always thought about having a DNA, because he just wanted to reaffirm himself. So it wasn't any such thing. He just wanted to have a DNA, and he just asked. And he said she goes on to say that he didn't realize that I would get so upset about it, and said, "Why am I getting so upset?" He just wants to make sure that he is secure. I realized he didn't deserve what I did for him, because by carrying our child to term with a pre-eclampsia and near-death hemorrhaging, and there's not a darn thing he would have ever done in his lifetime that would be of equal sacrifice. I love our son, but I really wish he was not the father. I feel violated and betrayed and used, because I would have never had a child with this man if I had known he had planned the whole time to ask for a DNA test, because apparently he always intended to ask. He thinks he should get a say. Well, I think he should try having a baby himself and then speak about it. So at this point in time, I am determined to move out. I have filed for a divorce, and I want to, I'm waiving alimony, the possibility of alimony, and I really just want to move on with my life without this man.
She should calm down.
No, but it's the concept of it. She's been truthful with him. She's been faithful to him. She's giving him no reasons to doubt her fidelity, according to her, at no point in time. But he just feels like, if I'm going to have a child, I just want to be secure that it's my child. Isn't that just rude, honestly?
The man should have discussed with the lady before even getting married.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Then after marriage and I gave birth, you can go ahead and request for a DNA test. But then after marrying me, it means you trusted me.
Yes.
That's why you got married to me. You know, infidelity.
AJ.
Yes.
We will still come to this point of emotional baggage. People have issues.
But then
shouldn't
you understand that you should know who to take your issues to, and you should know who to trust. And if I have been with you for how many years, I have gone ahead to have a child for you, gone through all the physical, emotional damage that honestly comes with having a child, and she clearly says she was near death a number of times, and you now suddenly get up and say, you know what, even though you've had a child for me and you've literally been battered through and through, I think I still want a DNA because I can have it. Not because I think you're cheating, just because I've always wanted a DNA for my kids. Based on whatever he's heard or whatever he's seen, he just literally wants it. Shouldn't you rather be more circumspect about the kind of person you're with before you act to these things?
Absolutely. So for a man to ask and say, I want to do a DNA test because I've always wanted to check it, it sounds psycho to me. It sounds like there's a problem up there.
Yeah.
That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
Either it's psycho or there's something that he's never spoken about. Again, sometimes he's doubting himself. You never know.
Yeah.
That aspect we don't look at. We only look at outside. There are times when some men doubt that they can,
Have
impregnate
kids.
a woman or have
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it happens and it's wow. because something happened in the past that show that you can't have children. You know, most of the cases when these issues come up about married couples not having children, we blame the women.
Yeah.
But sometimes we forget about the men. You know, and there are issues with them as well. So sometimes it is him. So sometimes you have to analyze that. I think there's a problem there. You know, sometimes of getting angry that why do you do this? But some analyze that I'm sure maybe he has a problem that he's not shared with me. You know, that angle is also there.
Granted, but why should the onus fall on me to be understanding of the man who's just literally destroyed every trust I have in him?
Yes, unfortunately that's the hypocrisy. Yes, so he comes forward with a macho behavior, and so I just want to check. Yeah, he wants to validate himself to make sure that it's for him.
And then you have to just
thing.
deal with it. You, the woman, has to just deal with it.
He could have gone to the hospital to check.
Yeah, in
Without
secret. We don't want
Now
to.
let's come to the secret one. How do you feel, or how would you feel if you find out that your spouse or your better half or your husband has tested the kids secretly?
I found out they're all like.
Would that be better to find out that he tested
do
secretly?
it and let me not find out at all.
At all.
At all. Tear the paper before you get home. Hide it, like burn it, anything.
Keep your secrets.
Keep your
Yes, keep
secret.
it to
If you
yourself.
find out
Be matured
positive,
about it.
keep it. If it's negative, yes, we can have the conversation. But if it's positive, don't come and tell me about it. That's the whole fight. It's just like having the conversation with me. Like, what made you check? I understand with everything going on right now, it's understandable for you to want to check. But it boils down to the fact that you do not trust me.
Exactly.
What did I do for you to think that I have been unfaithful to you? I'm not taking it. So if you do in secret, let's keep it a secret. Your secret. Don't let me find out. If I find out, dear.
Wahala. Dora, how would you react? Or how should anyone react?
I don't want to see it. You do it secretly.
Yeah.
That is
fine with
okay.
me.
It's your secret.
Okay.
Because for me, my issue is before you get married to me, you've known me for some years or months. So why then should you doubt me in marriage?
The truth of the matter is that there are a lot of people married and they doubt each other. They are just in there.
Like how?
Yes, no, that's true.
I
Marriage is-
understand,
I'm
but
not
what did
married,
I
but
do?
then I don't think marriage is a playground.
It's not, but based on the kind of cases we handle, you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
Even when you are doing insurance, some men don't want their wives to know that they are doing insurance. So she will kill me. So women do the same thing. People who look good together. So you can imagine how much more other serious things. Especially when you go to the courts and it has to do with will and all those things, then you understand a lot about marriage. You understand that, yes, a lot of things are hidden.
It's
People
serious.
sleep on the same bed, and in quotes, they are sleeping with their enemies. Yes,
Interesting.
absolutely. So
Interesting.
we shouldn't paint the picture that when two people are together, they are married, everything is fine. No, there are a lot of issues that married folks won't tell you about. So when they go for wedding, they look at you and say, Charlie, they say a short prayer for you. They hope you know what you're about. Because a different
Because
ball
we
game.
have gone there and
It's not the
everything.
telenovela. Yes.
Helen, now on the issue of DNA, if you were to find out that it's been tested secretly behind your back,
I repeat, God might not be done with you, but I am.
instantly.
I just feel like what in the betrayal is going on? I mean, if I found out, if you, for example, came home and you thought you were going to celebrate with me because you found out that the kids are yours, party for one. Because myself and the children were going to find some other home
my
where
God.
there is no doubt of our legitimacy.
True that.
I just feel like even in secret, there's something very slimy about that. Even worse in secret, I think. Just don't let me find out, like Miss Judy is saying. There's something very, like... And clearly you didn't even have confidence in what you were saying, because if you thought there was a big chance that these were not yours, you'd have come out bold with it like some men do. But clearly this is something that this is your own expedition. You yourself, and you don't even, you can't even come out and say it because it either sounds ridiculous to you, you've confided in somebody and they thought, Kwame, these kids are your spitting image. And you just know that maybe there's some irrational doubts that is going on. But of course, maybe you also know that if you tell your other half it is World War III, what's that saying? You can't win for trying. So it's all very murky. I don't have kids at the moment. I'm not married. So putting myself in those shoes is quite difficult. But as I stand now, let's say, okay, the partner or boyfriend or whatever ended up doing, that, I'd feel the same way. In a committed, loving relationship, some things are a no-no. But what is the reason? Maybe there are reasons that should cause both parties to re-examine what is going on. Nothing really happens out of a vacuum. If it's the guy's issue, that's on the one hand. But sometimes these things are born out of, mistrust. So, although our lady here is very shocked, maybe there's something that happened 5 years ago that she's not disclosing. People don't always tell the full story. Everybody will tell.
True.
I mean, there's 3 sides to every story. My side, your side, and the truth. And until we have the objective view, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. But if it were my case and I know these kids are yours, I would be livid. Secrets, Dane.
Hold on. Okay, now let me come to it. When some men do DNA tests and they find out the kids are not theirs, is it okay for the men to just up and cut all communication, walk away and say, it's not my child, I'm not going to be raising another man's child, I'm done, I'm out, and leaving the kids with literally a lot of emotional baggage, knowing that their fathers, based on their mother's treachery or whatever, have left them? Is the right thing leaving completely, removing yourself from the situation, or do you, based on how many years you've had the kids, owe them some sort of loyalty to see it through?
AJ, it always depends on the relationship between the two. Sometimes people have the right to react, but after reacting, after expressing yourself, what happens next? You need to determine, just like somebody cheating on you in a marriage, you need to analyze and find out that, okay, you cheated on me, can we work on this? I know men who have stayed because what happened? There was a story behind what happened, and they decided, okay, it's worth staying. And some have even built bonds with their children, so they decide that it's fine for me to stay. We'll keep our little secret. But people have different personalities, different temperaments, different experiences about life. So I always say that it depends on whoever is in the situation. Some can decide that, no, I can't handle this. Not everybody can handle different situations. There are some situations, AJ, you handle easily. Yeah. But somebody else will struggle. It depends on how strong you can handle it. For example, when they stay, they're going to become abusive. Because as soon as they see their children, they are angry. Yeah. They do all sort of things. Other people say, okay, they are not mine, but I still love them. Yeah. There are some children, they are not yours, but you take it like that. They are, So that's how I see life. So I feel that it depends on the individual involved. Okay. We can't have one situation for every individual. Exactly.
Okay. Dora, what do you think?
Yeah, just like you said, per our individual differences, and then how we take in situations. When you are very compassionate enough and you realize the kids are not yours, depending on how many years you've spent with the mother and the kids, you can accept them. They are humans. Yeah. Just like you have a child outside marriage as a man, and then the woman will just embrace that child because
you have to.
There's a story I remember some time back where a man confessed to the wife that, you know what, I have children outside. And the woman said, bring them, let me raise them like mine. And the children are grown now, and you don't know the difference. Yes.
I feel like a lot of times
women have the strength to handle this things more.
Why is it? Hey, you have brought yourself. Why is all of a sudden women blessed with that sort of temerity to we can deal with the abuse and we can deal with the disrespect, but the man can't? Because you made your bed, you have kids outside. Why am I, the wife, expected to have the maternal instinct to suddenly want to care for children that are not mine? And if I don't, then all of a sudden it's like, you're not a good woman. I don't want to take care of your kids. I don't want to. If I don't want to, I don't want to.
Sometimes you hear stories where the man will bring the baby from the other situation, come and put it in the wife's hands. Boom, this one, and it's like, what do you take me for? I repeat, God might not be down with you, but me. I mean, what is this idea? Like you said, that women are natural nurturers, and that just by, and I mean, there is of course some truth to that, but it's like we should just accept
all
it
the time,
and it can get quite tedious. Why? Who said I
can't
want to
always
take
be there.
care of
Thank you.
your side chicks,
maybe
baby?
two
As a
is
man,
all that I
really.
want, and you now bring me
from taking
three.
care of the children.
Maybe-
Why are you bringing it?
At least
you.
integration. They
And
want
their
all their
integration.
siblings to
No,
When we're doing it, do you integrate
Their
us?
siblings
Maybe
should all get along.
my kappa is 2 children. And now suddenly, oh, guess what? I have 4 outside. Man, 4 in here. Yeah, how will I be your day? I'm
Spray your seed everywhere. What
Getting into some messages now. Nana Kwesi says, when a male misbehaves, evidence will be there for all to see. When a lady does the same, the only way to tell is DNA. It gives clarity and peace of mind to both parties. The treatment before the result will determine whether there'll be a union aftermath. Hashtag keeping it real. Thank you so much for that. Now getting into Facebook, into other messages now, and this one says. From Sabah, Donna says, if you perform DNA tests of your kids without your partner's knowledge, that's mistrust to the highest arrogance. Amwa Vitus says, for me, it's not. For me, it's normal because I'm not even sure of my wife. Hey. So why are you with her? Why are you with her if you're not sure of her? Nana Kwesi also goes on to add, in the era of swapping babies, DNA will happen the moment a baby lands on planet Earth. I don't want any future heart attack or early death. Ebenezer Deborah says, very interesting question. And yeah, so please send in your messages on our live Facebook link. You can find it on 3FM927. And sharing your thoughts as well. Share the link. Share the link. Now, we've had 2 stories where both women are in a serious dilemma. They're not sure how to proceed. One, her biggest issue is with the family. And because of the family, it's also leading her to now sort of lose the vim for the marriage in itself. The second lady has completely lost. She wants a divorce because if you can ask me with no justification, then there's no point being with someone like that. The first lady understands to an extent where it's coming from. The child doesn't look like you, but she thought that it was something that you move past. Now they're both faced with the dilemma. The husband on the first side wants to go for counseling and try and see if he can work it out. She doesn't necessarily feel that there's any point because if you're family and you can do this to me, then why am I staying in this marriage? But she also doesn't want to break up a home with 3 young kids. Now the second lady is very happy to break up the home because she's like, nah, I'm done. How should they proceed? What is their next course of action? If you could advise them, what would you expect them to do? Who would like to start? Dora, go ahead.
To advise them, I don't think I can give the best advice.
Okay.
The men, they mostly request for DNA test. So before you request for a DNA test, you might have heard stories about DNA. So consider the emotions of the woman too. How is she going to react? If you consider that, I think both parties will have an in-depth discussion before he or she or the man will proceed with the DNA test. And I think after the test, whatever result, they can make peace.
Okay. I like that. Miss Jure.
Yeah, for the first one, I believe in someone being remorseful and actually wanting to save the home. It will be hard, but we all deserve second chances. So with 3 kids and everything, starting all over will be hard. I understand whatever she's feeling, but just give me a second chance if you can and try to cope. If after some years you can't, that's another case. But I think since the man really wants a second chance to prove his love, I think you should try.
Okay.
For the second woman, she should calm down. She should calm down.
Calm down and forget about it.
As he said, there could be other reasons for. I think maybe they should communicate more, try to understand where he's coming from. Maybe it's from his friends, his family, whatever. But it's hard because really I cannot digest the fact that you feel I am unfaithful. Like, what did I do for you to even think that? So, yeah, it would be a whole lot of making up.
Yeah.
You have a whole lot of making up to do. Even if you breathe wrong, you have to answer.
It will be a problem.
Yeah.
Lastly, how should she or they be proceeding?
AJ, so for the first family, I think that the man has showed that he's sorry. The truth of the matter is that the institution called marriage is about forgiveness, patience, work in progress. I've spoken to a lot of people who have done more than 30, 40, 50 years, and the secret they always tell is that forgiveness. The secret is always patience. The secret is always consistency. So the truth of the matter is that something has happened. He's made a mistake. The first step is, he says that therapy, wonderful. So, but I feel that they need to have that difficult conversation. The why, the how, all those questions must be answered. Sometimes we're in a relationship, we don't talk enough. We just, we just a routine. We move back and forth and that's it. But they need to communicate now. Some of this is happening for you to realize what you're in. Marriage is this kind of school you go to, they present you the certificate before you even start. So you can imagine the institution it is.
Right.
People who are brilliant, people who are supermen, superwomen have failed at it. So you can imagine the institution you're in. So it depends on the two of them. Do we want to give this another go? If yes, then communication. Second, therapy. I always tell people that yes, we underrate the power of therapy, but there are specialists who help you go into each other's head and understand that this is why I did this. And it helps to, the wound will not go away. Time. It is time. And for the man, he has to continuously work on the woman. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So he has to now be the best version of himself to make sure that whatever I do, I'm going to make sure I seek your forgiveness. I make sure that it will not repeat itself. And for the woman, she needs to let go.
Yeah.
It will take some time.
Yeah.
But if she can't let go, then I advise her that it's time to move on, because it will replay over and over again. Small situations, simple situations, it will play to her that your man does not trust you. So number one, communication, open communication. Number two, therapy. Number three, work on yourself. And number four, give it a second chance.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Now coming to Helen Appiah,
I would say, to summarize, ultimately the decision to reconcile with a partner who has requested a DNA test is a deeply personal one. I think you can get advice from everybody, from your family, your friends, but it's really about what you want. Because somebody requesting for a DNA test is not something that's like just an everyday occurrence. It's a very deep issue. And it depends on the circumstances, the personal values, and the willingness of both parties to address the underlying issues, because that's what it is. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. There are some underlying issues that will, bring this to bear. So it's a chance for partners who are willing to stay together to actually get to the root of the matter. But it's a very personal one, how you proceed with this. For somebody, it's a no-no. They just simply cannot go back to before you asked for this. And you have to respect that. It's a big gamble that you take. I think for most people, if there's love there and the foundation is somewhat there and they can, move forward, it's nothing that's impossible. But think about that before you go asking your wife, your partner, your girlfriend for a DNA test.
True.
You might not be able to come back from it.
Well, very true on that. But we're going to get Lord's opinion before he comes to the news at 8. Because Lord says there's an interesting version of issues that I'd love to hear from him about. So, Lord, before you get through with the news at 8, please do tell. Welcome to Keeping It Real, Lord.
Wow, thank you. So I'm thinking, maybe it's not always about distrust in the partner. So, in every family, there are certain traits you find in a kid, right?
The way Helen is backing up.
In the kid, so maybe you don't trust the system or the hospital that your child was born, right? So it may not be that you don't trust your partner.
Right.
Let's say the child is growing and then this one, you have a peculiar nose or some eye. Doesn't look like any of you. It looks like the ancestor.
Okay.
But then certain traits and there's no semblance within the family. So you just, out of curiosity, go and do a DNA because you want to know
but that would be between the child and the mother, not the father.
how.
So there's a DNA between mother and child and father and child. If it's between the father and the child,
Then that means you don't trust the mother.
So your argument.
So unless you want to, so would you consider actually checking between the mother and the child?
Where you don't trust the mother.
Where you don't trust the system, so you say, okay, then let's check for both of us.
Yeah, for both of
Okay.
us. But if the mother and child.
That
I
one
think
there.
the men should steal that strategy. Do it for both so that it doesn't look like you don't trust.
You know, honestly, if you came and say, no, babe, I honestly think that this is not happening well, so I want us to both go and check.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, okay, young it'll be a problem, but I may understand it a bit better. But for you to say that, oh, I want to go and check, so that means you doubt my ability to give you a child, huh? Okay, but Lord, if you were to find out hypothetical situation where after testing you find that the kids are not yours, will you advise that whoever it is walks away from the kids?
Hard question. No and yes. Context. So no, because at this point you've raised the kids together, right? So there's a bond between yourself and the kids.
Yeah.
And it always depends on how long
You've
or
been-
how old the kids are. Of course, it may raise a lot of doubts about, okay, when did this happen? You'd have to talk to your partner about it. If things are amenable and you are willing to sort it out, yes, because trust has been broken. But then if you talk about it, you get to know the root cause of it. So, I mean, I think that's where the no is. Yes, because if you can't handle it, I mean, there are several cases where
it's too much. Yeah,
it will be too much for you. If your mental state
is unable to deal with it, then walk away.
Like seriously, the women who get pregnant for other men and stay in the
They
marriage.
try,
Hey, witchcraft.
Hey. Anywho, thank you so much for joining us for another exciting edition of Keeping It Real. I had a great set of guests today on the show. Dalasi Dugbe, he's a corporate trainer and ghostwriter. Dora Lawe, who's a media person. Miss Jude and Helena Piapmofo, and then later on joined by Lord. Music by DJ Phil. We'll be back next week Tuesday for another exciting edition of Keeping It Real. Up to then, keep listening to 3FM.